Oh, good morning, everybody. Let's see, is that going? Looks like it's going. Hey guys, how you doing this morning? I think it's recording anyways. Yeah, hey, you guys are talking about a fire team, is that right? Hey, yes. And then I know I'm recording for sure, but I know at least I got a couple of yous in the chat right now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. And welcome to this live stream. I thought was just gonna be a standard crow morning, but it's going to be a backyard battlefield from the sounds of it. To some degree, I got Aaron and Three Star each saying that they might stop by at some point today, and that's great. If they don't, that's fine. You still get me. I'll get centered in the camera. I was barely on time this morning, guys. Got to do my hair and makeup. Oh my god. How y'all enjoying your weekend so far? I'll put my glasses back on and read the response to that in a sec. I got some good stuff to talk about today, boys. I do. I see there's only a couple of you in the chat right now, but that's okay. Others will join. I see Turkish Murphy just signed on. I know Son of Crayon Slayer and Triple C there. Crimson Cobra Commander there. I'm good. Turkish Murphy, I'm doing really good. And thank you very much, Triple C. Yeah, I was reading your comments. It is funny. Yeah, it is easier to condense you down to Triple C, right? Because, hang on, I got to get this position before we really get going, or else I won't be able to show anything later. But yeah, you're Triple C. I'm Cock, COC and Triple C. There you go. That's awesome. We got six in there. We got Jay Astro here. And who haven't I mentioned? Son of Crayon Slayer, working to afford some new toys, I see. Good for you. And so 351. So yesterday was kind of a funny day. I got a message from my buddy 3-Star Drawl there, and he's like, "Hey man, you hit 350," and a couple of others he had chimed in. I was talking to Shane Briella as well, and I was like, "Oh yeah, 350, great." So I got to close out the contest and start getting that on the go and everything like that. No problems. I log in, 350. I was getting set to make a video, and then I started talking to Punk on Instagram a little bit, and then and little things like that were going on through the day. When I checked back, I was at 349. I was like, "Oh, I pissed somebody off." No, that's something. If you guys are watching this, especially, I know Triple C, you got that new channel, and I hope that's doing well, guys. I'm sure everybody in this chat has gone checked it out, but if you haven't, do. Don't put any weight into your subscribers' ups and downs, okay? I think actually Cobra Crimson Commander, you know as well as I do. Sometimes, it's an algorithm. You didn't watch a video by that person for a little while, and it'll maybe sometimes it slips them off your subscriber list. There's things that happen on YouTube that I still don't understand or know, and I can't afford to put any weight into it, right? So I was just like, 349? Hang on a second. Somebody's fucking with me up there. Oh, I'm not supposed to use language in my first couple of minutes of live either, apparently. The algorithm picks that up, so I gotta watch that. So, I've got an elastic band. No, a hairband, sorry. Kind of holding things down. And right now it's just going to hold the camera, keep it from dropping today. And exactly, Jay Astro. Sometimes you eat the bear and sometimes the bear eats you. I used to have a saying when I would teach courses to candidates, and I could see that they were out of their element because they were city kids, and here we are in the woods. And it would just be like, just to kind of lighten them up and make them think. And I'd always do it. And I apologize to any. It was always done in the old 1950s Indian voice, right? So it was always like, what was it? A bear is more comfortable in the river than a salmon is in the woods. And it's people think I'm like, yeah, you're out of your element. I'm gonna fucking eat you alive, buddy. Oh, there's that F-bomb. And who else do we have? We have Maximilian Studios in here. That's great. And we're gonna, thanks, buddy. we grow when we grow, boys. And if I get any girls in here, if Alison Troy pops up, for example, we grow when we grow, and that's important. Yeah, I hit 350. That was a milestone for me because I set small milestones, right? Don't set huge milestones without setting a whole bunch of little ones, right? My first milestone was the 100 mark, and I think that's everybody's first milestone, right? And then I had plans to go to the 350, or no, I think I wanted 500 first, right? And that immediately I was like, wait a minute, no, that would take forever, right? Take forever to hit that one. And then it was like, no, okay, well, let's be reasonable. So I did the 200 or the 250 contest, and Digital Diarrhea won that. And then I did the 350. And now the next kind of bigger contest is going to be the 500. But in between the 350 and the 500, I know it's going to be, a substantial length of time. The subscribers don't just jump in just because you hit 350, right? You got to keep it going, keep it rolling. So I'm going to keep it going, keep it rolling. But it's one of the things I wanted Aaron and 3-Star on when they said, like, if they hop on, it's one of the things I want to talk to them about. It's this new YouTube breed that we can see coming now, and it's interesting. So, yeah, exactly. Have fun. It'll do what it does. It'll work or it won't, right? And yeah, I had some interesting discussions over the last 48 hours. I wasn't feeling very well the other day, but yet I managed to pump out a video. Right? That was because I was sitting there talking to Shane Brayla early in the morning for some reason. We were just talking about some stuff about 40K and Warhammer 40K. I'm sorry for you non-tabletop game ass. And I got talking to Shane and things like that. And I forgot where I was going with that point, but yeah, sorry, I just noticed a sidetrack. Anyways, yeah, I got talking to him. I got talking to Punk. I got talking to other guys. And right now, everything is going very well for the channel. I have no expectations up there, but at the same time, it's interesting what's coming right now because me and Aaron and them were talking about it, and there we go. We got one of the guys in the back room now. I can bring him up, and it's 3-Star. That's okay. And gosh, to get them in there. So we'll just go back here and say, hi, hey, what's going on there down south?
Oh, what's happening, man? Just trying to get woke up good.
Oh yeah, man, you didn't have to rush. I was slowly dragging my ass to a point I suddenly forgot as I was looking at other screens. So I'm glad you came in and rescued the moment.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Yeah, well,
do what you got to do. I can talk about nonsense and buy you all the time you need.
Well, actually, you're tired because why? Because you were up late last night, right?
Yeah, I was on Punk's Pit, and it didn't end till close to 4 your time, so that's Punk's time. And I know he was up this morning he was up by about 9 your time this morning himself because he's got some stuff he's doing today for a project he's doing. So I know he's tired. I'd sent him a message last night and he didn't see it till this morning. So, and he answered me. So that's how I knew that he got up so early. So I just couldn't sleep.
I that's actually more surprising right now because you said he had to be up by 9, right? And so that Punk's Pit, yeah, I was talking to you and Aaron the other night. I'm trying to get my setup working better. I'm working off 2 screens right now, and both of them are both iPad products, right? Like an iPhone and a tablet. And for some reason, I go to Punk's splash page and I cannot find the join now. And I figure it's got to be done from my laptop. So I dig out my Chromebook. Everything's going great. Get out the power cord. This is the power cord for a laptop I had back in 2007. So I've got to keep searching for that damn power cord. But yeah, I missed out on that whole thing. But I had no idea you guys would go to 4 in the morning. I'm looking at a message from Punk right now that he sent at 8:37. So like what he's going off maybe 3 hours sleep tonight.
Yeah, something like that. He always is like, it's not going to go late. I got to get up in the morning, and it always goes late.
Yeah, I don't know. Like up here, I that would be the guy. I'd be like, that guy stops at Tim Hortons every day. So I don't know which coffee joint Punk goes to, but I'm sure he's getting like a double shot of espresso in his coffees today. So,
I don't
but
even think
thanks
he
for
drinks coffee. He's
what's
drinking
that?
some of that soup. I don't think he even drinks coffee. I think he's drinking some of that super tea he's always drinking.
I always thought he
But
was when I first started watching him, he'd drink it in a clear glass. I'm like, is this guy drinking straight? Like, is that scotch?
I thought I until I realized that he, really was straight edge punk and didn't do anything at all. I always thought it was like dark beer, like
Yeah, I thought he
Guinness
was
or something.
drinking. At first, I just thought it was alcohol. At first, I'm like, this guy can put it down and not slur. That's
It's a glass this size or bigger. This is what I
yeah,
drink my coffee out of.
yeah. No, but that's good. Yeah, okay. So you had a good time with that, man. 4 o'clock. That chat must have been lit.
Yeah, there was quite a few people in it, and people filtered out. But there was a few people that hung in through all of it. And, on something like that, yeah, I've never run anyone like that with that many people. I don't have that, I don't pay for StreamYard, so I don't have the ability to add that many people. I think you can add up to 6 with the free version, 5 or 6, but keeping up with that many chats, as you well know, is got to be a nightmare. So it's probably good that it does kind of thin out. But when you're doing that, something like that, it's hard to being engaged in a conversation with that many people and still try to keep up with the chat. But of course, he knows what he's doing. He does a good job, but he doesn't have any moderators usually
And
on
that's what
that
it's
show.
well, and I know he's got one when he usually does his normal access streams on
Hmm.
live with friends on Thursdays there, and then and his Monday night ramblings. Usually
Yeah.
Matthew's in there doing the moderating, if I remember
Yeah.
right. So,
Matthew and Action Figs both when he's able to be in there.
oh,
Action was in there too last night, but he also moderates another stream on Friday nights. That's every Friday night, so he has to leave early.
oh, okay,
And Matthew wasn't actually on it. He was in the chat, but he wasn't able to get on and be on. But he was in there for most of it.
okay. Yeah, no, it sounds like a good time. If it went to 4 in the morning, you guys must have covered a lot of stuff too, like relevant.
We, yeah, those usually they kind of do this. Like he doesn't really do like a main theme when he does those. It's just kind of an open mic night, and topics just go from one thing into another, and then somebody will bring something else up. And there were some heavy metal toy box was in there, and he was talking about he's going to start a toy channel because he has a true crime channel
Oh,
that's
good.
very popular, and he wants to do another channel. So they were asking advice, or he was asking advice on stuff from Punk and Oz, and it was very informative listening to them tell him about that. And your name come up a few times last night too. So
I was afraid it might because me and him were talking, and I know I forced my way in on that power of the force. I came in like like a wrecking ball on that one to Punk's
uh,
stage.
that's all right. The more people for that, the merrier. I mean, they want enough people to fill how many days are in May, 30 or 31. I can't ever remember.
Yeah, I
But
mean, there's more than 29. We always know that, right? So
yeah, he wants he wants a different one for every there's 31. I just looked. I can't ever remember May for some reason, but he wants a different video every day. And if he gets more than 31, we'll just double it up, and so the more the merrier. And I know one of the things that he said when he brought you up was whatever it is you're talking about doing and you send him the ideas for, he is blown away and can't wait to see whatever it is you do with it. So whatever that is, don't tell us here because everybody's probably going to watch it, but I'm looking forward to whatever you are going to do for it.
So sending in ideas for my Power of the Force thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Power of the
cool.
Force.
No, that's cool. Thanks for letting me know. I was a little frustrated. I couldn't sort out the issues because right now what it is everything's all linked to one account. So when I get the Chromebook, I got to sit down and do all the admin again, and then I'll be like free to give all you YouTubers my money. Like let's monetize everybody and drain the bank account because those conversations, like you said, having those insights with Oz and with Punk there. Heavy Metal Toy Box, you got a really good jump start on your channel if you ever watch this, right? So
speaking of tips and roads toward monetization, congratulations.
No, the 350. Yeah, thank you. That one did that's guys. Just Jay Astro, it's just money. First off, I am not monetized, guys. Just because I hit 350 doesn't mean you bang suddenly you see your changes in your bank account of anything. No, that's not till you hit I think it's 1,000,
500 or 1,000.
Yeah,
I think it's 1,000.
I was telling these guys before you came in, all 350 was a reasonable goal. That was right. And it's like you probably got some for yourself, right? That you set out when you started the channel to keep yourself kind of going. If it's doing this, I'll be content. If it's doing that, I won't be. And if it's doing that, I'll be ecstatic, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was so happy when I hit 100. I couldn't believe that there were 100 people that want to listen to me do this. So 100 I was so happy I hit 100. I didn't think I would ever see 100.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Like the 100 was the first goal, I think. And we were talking about this. Everybody. Everybody's got that first bank. First bank account. I just read Jay Astros while I was saying that first goal. and I said my next one's technically 500, but yeah, I celebrate every 50 for sure. Any number is a celebration, guys. That's just it. It just means whatever you're talking about was it reached someone else and it meant enough that they want to hear more, right? Like that's it. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, that's what I had said during one of the times in that discussion, and we were talking about, like, Punk was talking about people that start their channel and why they start it, and he was saying, if you start it with the intention of just throwing stuff on there because you want to make money off of it and you think you're going to retire and do this, that works for some people, but it's about, it's like ball players that hit pros, for every one that makes it, there's 500 that don't. And he was talking about that. And that was what I said. I started mine for fun, awkwardly. And I was happy. Like I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I never started it with goals to even think I could monetize. And if I ever get there, great. If I don't, I'm enjoying what I'm doing because I'm doing it for fun and I'm doing it for me. But if there's anybody that wants to listen to what I'm doing and they're entertained by it, I am more than happy and pleased that anybody would even want to listen to me having fun. And the more people that show up and interact and comment, that makes it even better for me and for them. So I'm happy just having fun with it. And if I entertain people, that's even better.
Yeah, exactly that, right? Like Woody Triple Deuce gave me the nicest compliment. Instead of calling me crazy, called me eccentric. It came in just above Punk going when I said, Was this a unique entry, Punk? And he's like, oh, you're unique for sure. I hear how he dances around the word weird, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. But yeah, if it reaches somebody, it reaches somebody. So what I was going to say, I just suddenly realized, you know how Punk has Moss Man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just suddenly realized who we got to get you doing for like some sort of action fig. I need a Dr. Phil by 3-star draw. When you talk about listening to you, and I said, just take a second and listen to that voice for a second. Right. And then I just sat back and I was like, whose voice is that? It's Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. I think I think Dr. Phil's the first. I was expecting you to say like Wild Bill.
No, you in Joe, sure. Wild Bill, absolutely. Like I just actually was watching G.I. Joe last night, just before bed, flicking through some YouTube. And I finally heard the Deep Six voice that we associate with Woody
I
Trip.
told you. I
Yeah.
told you.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, Joe, or something to
Or
that.
words to that effect.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, and then, so I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, I know what that's about. And then I was thinking about you, and yeah, I could see Wild Bill, but definitely a Dr. Phil, because I think about Dr. Phil and Robot Chicken, right?
Now
But
that would be more like it.
yeah, but yeah. You're a Dr. Phil Mossman commercial. But today, what I was going to talk about, just so these guys on the chat don't think I didn't have a structure or anything like that. You see, Jay Astro agrees with me 100%, right? 100%. We got to get you doing Dr. Phil advice to action. You could be the Joe psychologist. We could have whole things. Why is
I don't know how many people I'm gonna help.
What's that?
I don't know how many people I'm gonna help.
Well, first off, you could give marital or at least intimate advice to Scarlett and the night relations with her and Snake Eyes when she can't look him in the face. She just can't, right? Like that stuff you can deal with.
Can you just hear Scarlett going, "Leave the mask on, baby"?
Yeah, she likes the give back. Is it too early in the morning to talk like that?
Not for me. It's never too early for me.
Yeah, so today, on top of a little bit of HasLab talk that was inspired by you and Pop Blender, actually, on your Sevens Wild the other night, I was going to mention, the 350 contest part's done. I don't have to mention any more of that. Mainly the HasLab stuff. Show some new figs that I did really quick to the guys. And then I was going to talk about what it is. Aaron and I have been talking about, we can't put our finger on what it is that's going on YouTube right now with the channels and why our channels are garnering interest the way that they are, kind of stuff like that. And like what's actually different about a hobbyist channel and like the hobby collector channel as opposed to just the collector channel. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So I actually have a way to bring that across. I'm hoping Aaron gets to it when it gets there. But yeah, I was thinking about that. I think I know what it is we're trying to put our finger on and figured it out. But the HasLab, we could start with that because before I go, I just want to get caught up in the chat and just say hey to everybody. We got 7 in the chat, so that's great. I know it's going to bounce around, guys. It's early in the weekend, and I know people have things to do. You can always watch this later, but if you do watch it, please hit that like, and especially if you like 3-star draw, you hit that like 3 times. So Sevens Wild. Just before I get, because everything I pull from here was because of you and your cousin there, Pop Blender. And the reason I realized I was always getting his name wrong is because one of the guys I dealt with for getting figures, his YouTube handle was Swish Pop. And it was, I was like, I don't want to call Down South's cousin by the wrong name. So, but no, Pop Blender and you. So you guys got together, you get together. Tell these guys how you get together, because I think maybe 1 or 2 of them haven't seen it.
We do it every 2 weeks on Wednesday. So it's bi-weekly on Wednesday, and that is mostly due to his work schedule. He works every other Wednesday, so on his off, and he works late on Thursday, so it works out well for him. So we're going to try to do it every other Wednesday, which frees me up if Backyard Battlefields wants to get together on the off Wednesday, possibly. That will free me up on a Wednesday if that's something that's doable for everybody else. But that's when Pop and I do our show on my channel. It's Seven's Wild. It's a G.I. Joe centric show. We have a topic. We'll talk about whatever little bit of Joe news has come out. Like we talked about the wreckage and the tiger paw thing, just stuff like that. We're not going to spend a ton of time on that because we'll always have one big topic that we're going to go over that going to devote most of the show to, and then we have a couple of other little segments that we work in that are kind of short that we'll do at the beginning and at the end. But that's when we do ours and kind of what ours is about, and it's just us cutting up and doing what we've done our entire lives when we hang out together. Like that's us in real life, playing off of each other and doing the quotes and the voices and stuff. Like that's what we've done forever. So it's pretty lighthearted till we get to the rant part, and then I seem to go the hell off. But other than that, it's a pretty just laid back, topical show. But we like to interact with the chat a whole lot and listen to what they say. So that's what it is. And when we do it, the next one will be May 1st.
Oh, yeah. So I tune into that every time because that, like, the whole Wednesday staggered thing. I mean, between Seven's Wild, Backyard Battlefields. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like everybody knows on this channel, I'm retired. So I'm pretty much available whenever, and that's why I laugh about the Power of the Force contest as I bring Aaron in here. When Punk says, "Yeah, I'll run for any day," I can take any day. So because I'm retired. So hang on, we got at the stage, and now we've got the Backyard Battlefield buddies here. Now I can play what I've been dying to play to introduce it. Just for
what's up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay, awesome. Guys, if ever we needed an intro music for all you guys that are older than 40, when the Backyard Battlefield guys come on, this is it. Here we are, born to be kings with a prayer. I had to do it.
Nice.
It's great. I thought you were going to play a Geritol commercial. That's great.
No, I'm going to
I thought you were going to play like a Pepto-Bismol commercial.
Yeah, Advil.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about Highlander this morning. I was like, there can only be one because no. And we got 10 in the chat. That song summoned people.
Guys, good morning. I don't have the chat in front of me, guys, so I'm sorry. I cannot get it to pop up on my phone, but I'll read what's coming on the screen.
Yeah. Did your Chromebook finally die?
No, I'm just
last night and said laptop.
No, it's just a mess over there, and I'm working on. I've been working like in this area, this general area, past couple days. So
I am going to say, hey, Aaron, you just chased Jay Astro out apparently, but that's okay. He'll be back.
Nice. Be gone, Jay. No, love you, Jay.
Good riddance. Jesus, it's about time.
Jay's interesting. He's cool. He's just like us, actually.
Yeah. So actually, speaking about us, all of us, and all of that, Aaron, I was just telling 3-Star about the theory that you and I, like the group of us, have been talking about lately. That there's kind of a change in the wind on YouTube a little bit as far as channel content and the types of things available, right?
Right.
And you had some thoughts on it before, but I know I'm catching you flat-footed here. So I'm just going to go over kind of the overview of what we were saying. It was basically like toy tubing is toy tubing, but there seems to be more growth happening somewhere along the lines of how you play with your toys and the conversion group, right?
That's true. We know when we think of toy tubing and we go back to it, we just think of simple reviews and stuff like that. The basics of, showing your toy, which goes all the way back to when we were in school as kids. Well, at least when I was a kid, where eventually, maybe once a week, you had show and tell.
Yeah.
And that was a cool moment where you could spotlight yourself, but more importantly, your toy that you loved, you carried, and you got to tell all your friends about it. And it was a cool moment, especially in my life. I don't know for you guys if you had the same.
Yep.
Absolutely. I remember.
So toy tubing is like a real exploited, point of that. And not only do we get to express, how much we love toys and everything, but we can up the ante and up the level of our creativity, which I've seen pour out through the community. And like a lot of people have started channels. Like, this is amazing. Woody 222, Shane, you guys are just so interesting, and coming out of those bubbles and sharing with the world of what you're able to create and do is like immaculate. And that being said, it's pushing toy tubing and YouTube to almost evolve. Like we're evolving, and it's only going to get better from here. Having awesome live streams like this where we can sit and hang with everyone and talk and communicate, man, I love it. I think it's great. And I do think like toy tubing is evolving into something better than what we've normally been watching the past so many years, however you've been watching it.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
3-star, did you have any thoughts on this? I have a diagram on this, so I want to get your thoughts in here.
Yeah, I've noticed that too with a lot of the channels that I've been watching, and it's more what I do on mine is more traditional, like what you guys are talking about, but I put my own spin on it. But it is the guys like what y'all are doing, that y'all are doing reviews and showing figures too, but that's not every show or every stream or every video that you do. Like, you may show off a new figure, like you just Aaron, you did the Black Knight figure,
Yeah.
but you also are showing off dioramas and you're showing off stuff like that. And Crow, you're showing figures that you picked up and you're showing them off and you're giving your perspective on them. But your next video, you don't even talk about none of that, because you're showing how to take a figure and completely turn it into something different. And I think the evolution is seeing a lot more people that are at least trying their hand at that.
And even you,
with
3-star, you made an
Yeah.
awesome cage. I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't normally do that if you weren't hanging around like people, and just that's where your
Yeah.
inspiration is just
It's
exploding.
It's something that I would have tried and I would have done, but I wouldn't have ever like made a video on it and showed it off if I hadn't been hanging around with you guys and watching like random diorama and people like that. I'm like, well, why not show it? I mean, it's something I'm doing.
And
Why
I don't
not?
know about you guys, but I love seeing stuff like that. I love seeing stuff that people.
The creativity
That's the reason why I'm on
is
Facebook still, is because so many people still post stuff like that they make and stuff. Because Facebook is a little weird, and it's there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, more so than you'll find in YouTube.
I actually had to get on Facebook for the first time in months yesterday. Like, I have bounced on there to go buy a fig off my buddy Jay when he lists one. And aside from that, I don't stay in touch on Facebook, but I found out my Insta photos were showing up on Facebook. So I had to jump on there the other day and do something to change that a little bit. But
yeah, I don't like that auto share on Insta.
I'm not a big fan of Facebook at all. But
I heard you guys talking earlier, Crow, about Power of the Force. Don't reveal your thing that you got going with Punk with Toys, please. Don't reveal anything. But man, dude, I grabbed some Power of the Force stuff too.
Oh, did you? Yeah, he knows what character I'm doing. I know what character I'm doing. I'm not sure if I said it already, but I won't say it anymore. But no, yeah. I have no verbalizing a plan for any.
Well, it should be a lot of fun, man. And
I hope so. Yeah.
Down South 77. Did he say it right? We are gonna launch the videos from our own YouTube pages. channels? I mean,
No, I don't think so. Oh, you talking about Punk?
Yeah.
He's gonna get us all an itinerary. He's putting an itinerary together.
Right.
Everybody gets a certain day, and he wants
Okay.
them all to go public whatever day you have at 8 p.m. Eastern is what he
Okay.
said. And I think
Sweet.
he's going to be emailing that out.
That's late for me.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Punk, actually, because he came into this exact subject, it was one of the reasons why I was thinking about it. And I said, I'm going to talk about this a bit today.
Right.
Is because I've been talking to him just over the last little bit, not having long conversations, but just a little, hey, I wanted to do this, that. And then we had a little sidebar discussion about my very first video, things like that. Just polite. He's a good guy.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he's a good guy to talk to. Definitely a guy you want to draw some influence and advice from, right? Like you want to follow a guy like that because he knows how to tell you the things you need to know. But one of the questions I had, and I didn't think to ask him this, and I realized afterwards, I don't need to ask him. I think I'm right. You know what the biggest thing about YouTube is and why these things are happening right now is because as adults, we forgot how to play. We spent our entire careers learning how to adult and how to work and how to do family. And we dropped our play factor.
Yeah.
And so toy tubing will show you how to buy, how to collect, how to display, and how to invest. But the guys that are doing what we're doing, we're showing you how to play again. We're telling you got a cool figure.
Mhm.
But with that background, it's like going to your buddy's backyard saying, I don't want to go to buddy's backyard. We did wars in that backyard.
Here's a perfect example too of people that need to get in touch with their inner child or replay. I was in a customer's home over the week, and we installed some nice granite countertops in their bathrooms and in their kitchen, and my crew did. And so I'm in there, and we're getting real friendly, and you could tell, he had a couple beers. We were talking good, and I tried to explain what I was doing, and because we were talking about passion and stuff, and I tried to tell him what I had going on.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I don't. And I was like, well, tell me you had toys as a kid, right? And he said, yeah. And he was just a little bit older than me. I said, tell me your favorite toy. He did not want to tell me his favorite toy. He acted like that was, and didn't even want to get in. He's like, oh no, So I right then and there, like, I hope that guy thought after I left, like, what was my favorite toy?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the viral.
What was my favorite toy?
Yeah, maybe if he got on eBay that night and
because if he would have told me, that conversation would have went totally off the wall from there, and he didn't even know. But he's not in touch with his inner child. Maybe he didn't have a very good childhood where he didn't have toy. I don't know, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of people, I think, now that they've adulted so hard and life dealt them so many real gut shots, either through mortgages and banks or competitive work or a problematic family, that inner child has zero voice in them anymore. And it's like you're almost going down that YouTube road looking for a pit stop somewhere, and that's the people you're watching. But all of a sudden, like you're stopped at that pit stop. You're okay, I'm relaxing while I'm watching YouTube, and suddenly somebody shows you a more scenic route on that road, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of what we're trying to do.
And you guys know that the toys, they are an inner release, of happy moments of our childhood that it's a healthy escape that you can go to and just feel good about it, and of course, you guys with the community and all the friends that you meet, it's a very, very awesome hobby.
And that's
I've made, just acquaintances and friends in the few months that I've been going in the chats and on YouTube myself, that I can talk more about this kind of stuff and how it makes me feel and what it means to me than I can with people I've known for 35 years.
Right.
And I love reconnecting with that part and other people that feel the same.
Right. And I can't see the chat, guys. I'm sorry, but man, I know all you in the chat, you know, you must feel the same way too. And that's why you're here with us today, you know, is to just talk about the stuff we love and everything.
Yeah.
And Crow, man, before we get too further, or before I forget, bro, and I know you, because you like this, I guess you like this line, yeah, dude. I picked up some Warhammer 40K, man, that was in Target, bro.
Oh, which one did you get?
Man, I got the Gene Stealer.
Oh, okay, the Tyranid
I,
stuff.
I
Nice.
see you've got them open. They weren't
Let's see
open
it.
last night. Are we seeing a review later?
No,
Bro, I
isn't that
just, that's
beautiful?
what I just got done doing, was the review on this guy, man. And I thought it was the one that The Amazing had, right? And because I watched his review on his to kind of learn the lore and a little bit more about it. It's one of my go-to guys. But he did one 2 years ago. It was not this one, dude. And
No.
then like Wraith Mace was asking me the price on this. He's like, oh man, he's like, that's like what a custom I made, you know, and it comes with these extra hands and stuff. And there is a kick-ass video. It's gonna drop in like a couple hours after we get
I
off here. I'll
can't wait
drop
for
it.
that. Yeah, the Gene Stealers are. Yeah, so if you picture the movie Aliens, this is 40K's tribute to the Aliens threat, right? And yeah, no, you can't use these in the game, but there's like friendly gaming groups that will do kill team games, which is like 7 models versus 7 models, and they'll use those.
What I see with that, I don't know anything about Warhammer other than what I've learned from guys I watch, but that looks like a
and then I got another one
from Dead Space.
I picked up the
No.
the Iron Warrior.
Oh, there you go. Woody 222 will love that. He's a big Chaos fan. Or sorry, no, not Woody 222. Sorry, Same Time Toys. Shane.
Okay.
Yeah, Shane.
So look, you know, these are going to be popping out. But I found them at Target, $24.99. And I wanted to say, I was looking at the price, or I was trying to look up the price this morning. I couldn't find my receipt, and I didn't know how much they were when I bought them. My wife ran them through checkout. I only had like 4 figures, right? So I was like, oh, it can't be too much. And I just put it in the cart, and that was it.
Yeah.
So they're $24.99, which I thought was a great price for a big 4-armed, you know, highly articulated, you know, figure, man. I mean, to the max. Yeah. So I was like, damn, this is awesome. And I looked it up at Target, and it said pre-order. It said that I couldn't even buy them. I was like, what the heck? So they must have just dropped them. Must have just came out.
Oh, that's a fresh one. Yeah, right on.
Wraith Mace didn't know they were out. They must have just dropped. If
because my app would say, oh, you could buy it at the store right here, here, here. And it said, no, you got pre-order this sucker. I was like, well, I got one in my hand right now.
Okay, so the fresh drop has just happened on a backyard battlefield that you guys stumbled across on the Krusty Crow Live. And you know that there's going to be a review of that figure dropping in a couple of hours. And that's going to be a fresh take on a new character, it sounds like. That's amazing. I'm just going to say hi to Allison really quick. Allison, hi. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm looking forward to getting on with the chat with the guys here really quick and moving on with the topic. But the last thing I want to do is I just don't want to go down on record on having, misaligned what Punk was saying to me yesterday. I'm going to close out a point because he's not sitting there going, you toy tubers and your conversions, you're the new wave. That's not him. That's coming from. That's just conversations that me and Aaron and a couple others are having. But what Punk did say, and he did agree with me, is the problem with a lot of YouTubing and when you lose your sight on how to play is suddenly you think your channel's in a competition with another channel, and it's not. There is no competition to be had here because YouTube is something that you can take at will. You can watch the videos whenever you want. So why would there ever be a competition? When you start thinking your content is in a competition, then you're insecure about your content, I think. And you don't, if that's happening, then you need to just take a pause, right? But I didn't want to
because I truly know that the only way that if anyone thinks I'm good at YouTube or my channel is good, it's from me learning things from all the other YouTube channels. I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for all the YouTube channels that I watch and I mimic things. And, I was like, oh, that's a great idea, here, there. And you just have to compile all that together because it is a huge ass learning process.
It is.
Yeah.
But I'm going to end that whole channel discussion and YouTube discussion right there. We've given it a lot of time, and it's time to move on to a bit of HasLab talk for a second, just for some fun. I wanted to bounce a few vehicles off you that came up on the Sevens Wild discussion the other night and get a little bit of a burner discussion going on. So if you're in the chat and you're sick of HasLab, you shouldn't have been in the chat to begin with. And if you're in the chat and you love HasLab, you're at the right place to be, as always, right? So thanks, Triple C. That's really nice of you to say. The journey is fun. It's fun for all of us. All right, so right off the bat, we're not going to talk much about the Rattler. There's just way too much logic to say that the Rattler is probably the heaviest option, I think, that everybody's talking about. These are the ones that got mentioned where people were trying to push the logic as to why it should be there, right? And I'm just going to name off the list because this isn't about them. This is about why these things are there, right? So we had things that came up. The whale, the moray, the demon, the snowcat, the mauler / mobat. For some reason, those got blended into the same thing, but yeah, and the rattler, right? All these things. But the one that got me thinking the most was the demon, Destro's demon, right? And what got me thinking was, I think it was Cobra Crimson Commander that was really pushing that one, and I think Woody was backing him, saying, "Yeah, I love that one." Right?
Yeah, it's like Woody's favorite vehicle. So
yeah, and for guys like, if you're not, I'm assuming everybody here can remember what that vehicle looks like, but if not, I will just quickly call it up. And yeah, the demon is this one. It's a horrible picture, but it's this one. Right, this folding tank.
I remember that one.
Did either of you guys have that?
I don't have it.
No. I never had it, but I played with it. A little pop blender had it. I never did have that one.
Right, and so that's like me and my cousin Jonna, right? Your pop blender is how much younger than you?
Pop blender is almost 2 years older than me.
Oh, is he older? It's okay, so just different.
Yeah, he's older
at the time. What I'm getting at is, I think Hasbro's got a strategy, and I think we're ignoring it when we're speculating what the next HasLab's going to be. If we look at how G.I. Joe has been released in the classified line after they tightened up the ship and got the first 10 or so figures out of the way and said, "Oh, nobody likes our video game look," right? They started diving into the original 13 line, sure, but they did those first few years, those 82 through 85, and then they bounced around every generation of Joe afterwards, right?
Yeah. Now,
some of the figures that come out, we are the quick ones to say, like, for example, this clown. I mean, great figure. We're quick to say, like, yeah, that was after I stopped collecting. And it's quickly dismissed. Well, it's after he stopped collecting. Yeah, he had a good collection, but that's after he stopped collecting. And it makes me think, well, more generations came after we stopped collecting, right? And that's what Hasbro is doing successfully. They're not doing a single wave release in order like they did from 82 to 94. Yeah. What they're doing is they're throwing it all out there for all of our generations to come together at the same time and buy the same brat. So when I look at HasLab, and we've done a Dragonfly and a Hiss, I'm asking, okay, well, what other vehicles do we have out there? Well, we've got ferrets and we've got vamps, right? And rams galore. Bubble. And a bubble. All of these are from that first gen of Joe fan that was there at 82. These are still within that first 3 or 4 years of the Joe line coming out. Destro's Despoiler starts making the most sense to me when I start looking at how they release the figures and how they're trying to capture all the generations at once. Maybe 2 from that line is all Hasbro wants to give us right now, and then move to another generation. So Hiss, Dragonfly, and we jump to 87, 88, or 89 and do something different, like, say, a Despoiler or Yeah, one of those.
Absolutely, because I mean, if they do put it out in order like we got it before back in the day, then it'd just be a reenactment of what Oh man, and it downed a lot of people. But as they're putting the stuff out randomly and more, spacing out all these years and stuff, people are slowly falling in love with those figures.
And that's the
And
thing.
like Crow said, they're wanting to keep the entire G.I. Joe fan base, not just the people that were buying them in 82, 83. They want the people that come in later and were there for the end of the line. A lot of us look back and either didn't collect, didn't like, or whatever those figures from 88, 90 through the end of the line. But there were people that come into the line maybe with G.I. Joe the movie and their early memories. They started collecting with Cobra Law, and they were there through Battle Corps and Space Marines and all that stuff that the rest of us didn't like. They want those people too.
So, and exactly, and this is the point I was trying to get at. Like, the question went somewhere because it suddenly occurred to me, okay, haslabs are very expensive. We know this. They involve a lot of intense design work and a lot of backing to get even thought of, right? And we just had like some sort of meeting, I guess, recently where they put a bunch of products, like vehicle ideas in front of people, and they picked which ones they thought would be good haslabs. And when you hear Rattler and Snowcat and Whale all kind of in the same conversation, all that tells me is that those first 4 years of Joe are the most important 4 years, right? And I don't think that's the message Hasbro would want to send, especially with a HasLab. How long are other Joe fans supposed to wait in line for their favorite vehicles to show up from their generation just because we loved those first 4 years? It doesn't make any sense. So,
Yeah.
but I know you guys would love this, right? As a HasLab, that Mean Dog coming back.
Oh man, yeah. I
Right?
had that.
But that didn't come out till what? Like, what year was that? 87?
80.
Excuse me for 1 second, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yep. I think the Mean Dog was 88. Somebody will probably know better than me. It wasn't 87, I don't think. I think it was 88, but I may be wrong.
Yeah. And good morning, Tony Figs. Thanks for joining us. Everything there. And Allison, there we go. I didn't start collecting G.I. Joe beyond Scarlet Baroness and Lady J. It was my parents bought a flag and my brother bought on. It was straight on. It was right around the
88. Sorry, I just looked. It was 88. Sorry.
Yeah, so Allison's one that really didn't take an interest till around later in the line and things like that, right? It's a common thing. So if I'm HasLab and I just keep working in order, I am going to lose the interest of over half my market if I start showing a trend to just stay in that sequence, right? And this is where the Rattler discussion starts to kind of disintegrate in my hand, because as much sense as it makes, when I think about the damage it could do as far as forecasting next ones, I'm like, do they want to keep that air of mystery about them? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we've lost Aaron, but just for a moment. But this was another one I thought had a lot of merit, and that was from the same year, the Warthog.
Yeah, Warthog. We didn't like when we were planning the show and we were pulling them up. We didn't pull up the Warthog, but it was mentioned in the chat, and I was like, that would be a damn good one because it's comparable to the Hiss.
Yeah, it
already held extra figures. I think the Warthog would be a good possibility. I love that thing, man, and I got that version. That's the only version of the original Sergeant Slaughters that I've got is the one that come with the Warthog.
There you go.
I don't have any of the others currently.
It was well after my time, but it's one of my favorite vehicles for Joe just because it represents that IFE, whatever the Marines have, something like that. It's not that, but I mean, it's similar. It's that concept. Really cool looking vehicle, but this is one of the arguments I had for why the APC in my mind would have been a good one. It's just when you have something that you can load figures into and they're still visible, like at the top or hanging out them, that's a play factor. That's in the center of the shelf, and you can put your collection around that. That has a lot of appeal to collectors, and it's a fair size, right? But yeah, that was. I
Yeah.
just think with the HasLab stuff, I think the game Hasbro loves is to make you speculate, and when you're so far off trail, they love it more, right? And I feel like
Oh yeah.
most of the times we're way off trail, and I think the Rattler might be one of those times where it's like they're doing nothing to quell or confirm the rumors. They just know that everybody expects it, right? So
Yeah. I think with that, one, I'd love to see the APC, but I think a lot of people would think that it may be a little too plain for a HasLab. I'd love it personally. I mean, I'd definitely back it. I would love to see that. Um, like what you just said, though, as throwing people off the trail and things like that. I think that's why we haven't seen any kind of early teasers like they did with the Dragonfly, because people picked it apart. And as soon as they threw that 23 out there, within hours, within a day, people were like, well, that's the Dragonfly because it's got that painted on it. So I think they might be waiting to do any kind of teaser or anything,
yeah,
just because they're trying to plan it a little better and keep people guessing a little more. But we're overdue for a Dragonfly update on how it's going.
oh,
That was one thing I mentioned.
yeah, and I mean, I'm negotiating and bartering with the wife. I do plan on trying to bring in a Dragonfly into this collection, because that whole thing is just going to be 90% of it is going to be about outdoing the hiss, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I may possibly be able to score you one. I'm not sure yet.
I've got all the time in the world, brother, but I appreciate just you keep that in the thought. What I wanted to do was address something that Allison had said here. Okay. And at some point they do need to introduce some all new characters to help make something for new Joe fans for new fans to latch onto as their Joe.
Right. And that being said, they have brought out some new characters, and we've also, like the Valkyries, the female, we've seen a lot of new female figures. I think they're going to pump out some more new figures for us.
Yeah. I don't know if Allison's point was like, yeah, absolutely. They make new figures like, and we think of people like Helix, for example, which is, but by new, that's not completely new. These are properties that existed just in the comics, right? So same with Jodie Shooter. She's always been out there. They just gave her an identity and a backstory, and we learned about it, right? Like,
but what Mole Rat, Wolf Spider, more of those.
That's a great roll into what I was going to do.
You're welcome.
Right. Thank you very much. But that's kind of also what IDW, or not IDW, the new comics are doing, because we don't have cartoons to do it in. So yeah, I made a Wolf Spider. Let's bring them out. All right. So Wolf Spider is that prime example of exactly what Allison was talking about, where they needed to bring in a new character.
This is the one. This is the one from your most recent video, right?
No, this is the real Wolf Spider that we have.
Okay.
Yeah. So but it's to emphasize a point. I'm going to give myself the screen for just a minute or two here. Solo. So Allison, Parth Varma, this medic that joined whatever and drops from helicopters, Wolf Spider, is Joe's little creative venture, and I absolutely agree with you. They need to do a few more. They covered themselves by making it into a troop builder type figure, to just say, yeah, we gave them a special identity. You can play them any way you want. And so that was it. And guys, yeah, I did just drop some photos online. I'm going to do a full video about it, but I found Loki's Wartooth's parts were really easy to put together with other kit bashing and make a second Wolf Spider. Sorry, I got to get this camera right on solo layout. So that's my second Wolf Spider type, right, to go with them, because I think Allison's right. And that's why some of us do these conversions and all that other stuff, is because the Joe characters have been there forever, and we're kind of itching for some new ones, right? On some level, some of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So just I'm gonna get caught up in the chat. Aaron's off doing other things again.
Yeah. I think Allison had just made a really good point about Lenny having the love for the line and understands it. That's a really good point. That's the difference. That's the difference we see with some of what we're getting with G.I. Joe and what we see with some other lines is like you've got somebody heavily involved that has a passion for the line. Like Punk talks about it all the time about like the Star Wars streams. They seem like they're there at gunpoint, and a couple of them don't really know a lot about what they're even talking about. You can tell that that is not the case when there's a G.I. Joe stream. And even Emily has gone out of her way to learn the lore and the history and what the original characters looked like. And, people may give her some crap over it, but I think she's done a really good job catching up for her job. And she might not have originally been a huge fan and known a lot about it, but you can tell she is now.
Yeah.
His creativity and her ideas for getting the stuff out there just work so well.
Yeah. Sorry about the back and forth with me, guys. I'm home alone, and Charlie is asking me to do stuff.
And with Emily, she's really good at her job. We were talking before about I think she's playing a very balanced game between what she's allowed to talk about and what clearly all the long list of nuances that she's not allowed to talk about on the lives, and what she considers, that fine balance. She does very well. On the point of Lenny that Allison was talking about, absolutely, I would love to see maybe a subline one day of just maybe 5 figures that go direct to mainline that are called something like Lenny Unhinged or something like that, where Lenny gets to do how he wanted to do a rock and roll figure or a Baron Blood or something like that. And maybe it's a little like over the top, or maybe it's just something we never even visualized. Just don't make them exclusives.
Yeah.
And like this comment here about 500 characters, and we barely gotten to know any of them. 500 characters, but most of them have been around for over 20 to 30 years, right? And while you have a library access, at some point, some of us are like, we see a lot of repeats in that character line as well, right? Like characters.
Yeah, we've already seen so many versions of so many characters. Like Roadblock's my favorite Joe.
Yeah.
But we've already got 4 versions of him counting the Tiger Force one. So a lot, I want them all because he's my favorite character, but spread it out. We don't need, there's so many other people they could do from all the different years that would sell just as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to remember also, I'll put up Allison's comment about the Star Wars team, but I'll say this. Remember that the military look and access, I'm not talking about your real army. I'm talking about just the broad spectrum of what the military looks like. Since G.I. Joe was around and being created by actual creators and not reprinted by companies reprinting vehicles for new gen lines that were older, right?
Right. That was getting old with the reprints.
Yeah. There's a lot of new vehicles out there that have captured the public eye as interesting. There's a lot of new roles in the military that have become invaluable, like forward observer, drone controllers, things like that, right? Like you have room for new characters. What you need is a very large amount of passion to do it right. And sometimes passion costs a lot of money, right? So I don't know.
Hard to find.
Yeah. But the Star Wars team limited. The only point I was going to say on the Star Wars stuff is Star Wars has a mile long of canon warfare behind it, and diehard fans that will fight you to the death online about what is canon, what isn't. And when you're making something to reflect somebody's interpretation of canon, you're going to lose most of those times, right?
Yeah, what she said is so true. We think parts of the GI Joe community are toxic. They don't touch the depths of the cesspool that some of Star Wars can be, because I used to be
I
heavy
totally
into that.
agree.
So
Yes.
it is such a hot button thing with Star Wars fans. It makes beefs over GI Joe stuff with whoever, YouTubers or online communities, period. It makes that pale in comparison to what they can
Right.
rant and rave over.
But May is coming up, and I know Allison must be excited for this month of Star Wars, man, that we're fixing to pump out.
I am.
Oh,
I am too. I got a lot of special things for Star Wars. I know I've never reviewed one on my channel, but I am a fan, and you will see some stuff.
I just want to point out, guys, for all like Woody, T-Triple-C, and Same Time Toys, when you get together on a live with a group of like-minded people, sometimes you can read each other's mind. And Aaron just read mine. He's like, this is a great point to transition to that May contest. And Allison, because I was absolutely agreeing. It was one of the things I liked about Allison's contest and what we're saying. We are not to take it too seriously, right? Like, we're to have fun with it. Absolute fun. You are not going to find somebody tied up so far in the canon that their review becomes stiff and uninvolved, right? Like
I had to buy a lot of Power of the Force toys this month.
What's that?
I had to buy a lot of Power of the Force toys. I used to own the collection. I had most of it. I wouldn't say all of it, but I almost had all of it. And I sold it, we'll say about 12 years back, 10 years back. I sold it all, man. And I went and rebought all the cool things. I probably blew like $500 this week just to Power of the Force.
Because you're going to do those reviews the enhanced way. I know you are. And that's going to be amazing. Yeah, amazing. I had the worst time trying to find one out here. And then I went by like the trusty old comic store, and he just happened to have a couple. But
you know where a really good place? I don't know if you have flea markets out there. Dude,
not many have them, but I'm never around. Yeah.
Really good place to get them cheap.
I thought I had two choices, but really I only had one, because the other one I couldn't buy was Qui-Gon from the Phantom Menace line. It wasn't a Power of the Force. And I was like, damn it, I so wanted to do a bunch of Taken accent skits and things like that. Like, just like Liam Neeson's least survivable character was Qui-Gon Jinn, right?
Yeah. And honestly, I know Power of the Force isn't the greatest, versions of Star Wars by no means, but there is some very interesting stuff through that line. And I was taking a look at it and remembering, and I was like, oh man, I forgot they even had this one. And I'm going through so many pictures, and I'm on eBay, and I'm on Amazon. You can even buy them still buy them on Amazon. I had a Boba Fett sent to me just because I wanted one. And I know other people are doing that review, but you'll probably see it on my channel too.
Yeah.
But man, I got it for like $9.99 on Amazon. So that's crazy that you can get a figure that old still. But
yeah. They're not what you would associate with collectible prices.
Yeah, he's right. That's something we actually talked about last night when Punk was talking about it. Was it might have been Oz, maybe it was you, Aaron. It seemed like it was Oz that brought that up about being able to go back and find something that's 20 years old now, and being able to find it mint on card for $10 or $8 or whatever. Yes. I have two figures, and I think with shipping for both of the ones that I'm doing, same character but two versions, I think I have like $18 and $19 in both of them with shipping.
Yeah. And that goes back to the rush factor that we sometimes talk about with Crow and stuff. You don't always have to be in a rush to get every figure when they come out, because no matter what, no matter if Hasbro's saying sold out, no matter if prices are shooting skyrocket, that stuff does balance out in the future. And I know this because I collect so many vintage toys. I still like, I just updated my Silverhawks collection, my vintage Silverhawks collection. I bought mint figures just last year from that year, and now I have like super nice minty mint figures that I was able to obtain, you know, so 30 so many years ago. You can always find a good deal. You just have to be on the hunt, and it may take years, you know, or whatever. But
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. Don't feel so rushed to buy everything, especially if you can't afford it on your budget or whatever.
Yeah. That's why Allison picked Power of the Force too, is so that if people weren't collecting it, they weren't going to go drop $50 on a figure just to participate in this, right? And that,
Aaron.
Yeah.
Hey, I ran into a little extra cash, and I was like, man, I'm gonna do a bunch of them, and just because I wanted to.
Where's Punk? You're doing this monetization flex. Where is he?
I do things for, and Crow knows this. I do things for extra cash, like sell like refrigerators that I get off my job sites. I scrap copper. I'm an electrician, so I'm constantly throwing scraps of copper and garbage pails and stuff like. And then I'll go and recycle this stuff, and that's shit that I was gonna throw out anyways. So I'm recycling. I'm investing the money back into the channel. Don't worry about when I send you guys something. I'm recycling this somehow and getting this extra income. I'm good at doing that.
I have a question. There is a question, okay? Because I picked this up. It was just one little thing. I got it for 99 cents, Aaron, and I was going to send it to you to fix it. But we need, and you can fix it and keep it because it's more along your thing than my thing.
No.
But what is this? I reckon.
Oh yeah,
Strator.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's the mechanical horse from Masters of the Universe, He-Man, and he was awesome, dude. It was a very intelligent mechanical horse.
All right.
I saw the updated version somewhere the other day for like $4.99 for the new one.
Oh yeah.
I
didn't buy it because I don't have room to put a Motu horse in here, but
I did really pick one in it's in box still. I do have one in box.
I've got one horse and I've got another one coming, but it was not $4.99.
Crow, thank you so much, because if when I do get it and I fix it, that's just gonna be on my shelf for display.
Well, that's just it. Like, I know you're getting back into Motu, and I was just like, whatever, 99 cents, and I think,
bro, what a deal! Yeah, that's a super steal. What's broke on it?
I thought it was just pieces missing. I think there's supposed to be things mounted on it, like a tail.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it has a tail. You know who knows? Allison Troy knows if she's in the chat. Allison, not missing anything. She would know better than me. I got the toy in the back, but I don't want to say nothing wrong.
Yeah. And
I can barely see on my little phone too. So
yeah, you'll see it when I get it to you. Yeah. No, I figured, Aaron, because you got into this a lot with fixing toys too, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of where I was like, I'm not going to make this a long chat. We're almost at an hour and a half, and I think that's probably going to be good enough for today. Where I know you guys were up late with Punk last night on that stream.
Darren was. I bailed out early. I knew where that chat was going. That chat was going all night. But there was like 10 active people in it when I left.
there was something I wanted to show everybody before I ended it tonight. But one of the things I have to put out there, and I've got to say, if anybody is on Etsy and finds a link for this, I need somebody to send it to me so I can send it to Loki Wartooth. But we need a little crow bird 3D print, like just a little one on Joe Classified scale. And I would love to find, if anybody has seen these on Etsy or Pinterest or anywhere.
I will hunt for it all day today.
Like articulated or
market too.
No, articulated or just like a little statue like Polly or something.
Just little throwaway. What I'm thinking of is, hang on, I'm going to give myself the screen for a sec.
Wasn't there a crow? Hang on, wait. Wasn't there a crow action figure off the Crow movie?
Well, yeah, I mean the crow.
McFarlane, I think.
No, I'm talking about birds, like actual
Right,
crows.
right. I think he comes with.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No,
ho, 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 ho. I'm gonna check
So-
those out.
Digital diarrhea. When he sent me his stuff, he sent me a bunch of these little rats that are always floating around on some of my back props.
Oh,
Right.
those are nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I realized, well, there's got to be somebody who has a bag of rats that you can buy. That's probably where he got these. And I'm just wondering if anybody like that makes little crows or ravens. You can sit on a fence line or something like that. I thought it would be good.
That
because,
would be awesome.
I was going to show this on a different video, but this is what I was showing the guys last night. I finished off my crow so that he'd fit in with my night force and still look a bit like Wild Bill, because you can't avoid that when you use the head.
Now
But-
I want to build you something, Crow. I want to build you a dial for your thing.
Oh,
I got
wow.
one in mind.
Oh, geez, we should build each other stuff. But we have so many contests on the go right now.
I'm
man.
thinking barbed wire and old wood fence, and oh man, you got me thinking, bro.
But
This
that
is the
was
topper from the clock
There
that
you
comes
go.
with the Red Death figure.
Ooh,
Oh,
Now you would have, I mean, you'd have to trim that piece off, but it's
Dremel
got
City,
two pegs,
baby.
sits on top. That it's close. I mean, it's a raven, but I mean, it looks close to
Yeah.
a crow, and it's
I
just
like how
it's
evil
it
it
just
looks.
yeah. I
just-
mean, it's meant to.
I know in our shared group of guys that we have that. Oh shoot! I just removed you from the stage. Hang on a second.
I'm still here.
There we go. Yeah, I meant to share the stage, not kick you off. No, I know in our group of guys, we have a lot of people that kind of have a lot of feelers out there. And if anybody's seen, like I said, the little STL file to print crows, if they know of where they saw that, take a photo, send it to me on my email on my channel, so I can send that to Loki, stuff like that. But Cobra Crimson Commander says that horsey horse there is missing two lasers in the front. And
Yeah, he also mentions Crimson Cobra Commander also just said something about the crows. Some of those early Resident Evil figures he mentioned come with crows because they were in the game. Yeah,
Oh,
right there.
yeah.
But those were the Toy Biz ones, and they are kind of pricey now. I think Toy Enhancer talked about that at one time.
Maybe you can find sometimes
Just
people
the crow?
sell parts though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about this one for Red Death, because I know people part out these figure obscuras on
Oh, yeah.
Mercari. I see them all the time.
yeah, no,
But that's a good idea.
I keep forgetting to mention it and be like, at some point you've got a subscriber base that's over 350 now.
Congrats,
Somebody
Crow.
knows
That's
something.
awesome. We can do the contest now, and I get to judge it.
That's right, and that's where I was trying to go before we hit that hour and a half. Is that, guys? Absolutely. I closed out the comments this morning, I think. Yesterday I was laughing with 3-star. I got to 350. Everybody was congratulating me. I hopped on a little bit later. I was like, it's 349, right? And I was like, some people are messing with you, but no, it was fun. But yeah, we're at 350. So I'm gonna compile what few entries there were for that contest. Thankfully, there was
351 now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna send them to.
It's only going to go up from here.
Yeah, but we'll get those entries reviewed, guys, and I'll do a video soon announcing who the winner is, and then we'll start some videos about how that project's going to get started and go from there. So thanks very much for everybody. That's going to be it for my live today, guys. Did you guys have any closing stuff before I finish? Is that Charlie? Is that Charlie?
Charlie's calling me.
Everybody say happy Saturday, Charlie.
Hang on, I'll be right
Happy
back.
Saturday,
wants to say
Charlie.
hey. Come here, say hey on camera. He's upset, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you deal with that. We'll wait for Aaron to come back before I close out anything. But 3-star, if anything you wanted to mention about upcoming things like you've got on the go that we should be on the lookout for in the next few days.
I don't really have I don't have a whole lot coming up right now. I don't have any I don't think I've got any pre-orders or anything coming in. I'm making a new mat for my desk here, where I've been using my base for my deathmatch cage. I've actually still got it up here because it makes a wonderful bottom piece to the table. So I don't want to mess it up using it here, because it also works awesomely for a mouse pad. So I'm painting up another one to use for that, for reviews and stuff. That's all I'm doing is fooling with that. I'm still trying to work on my Silverado. I bought what I wanted to customize that thing, and it's not going to work. So I'm still working on that, and I'm going to spend most of today probably hooking up a computer. I bought a desktop that I didn't want to do because I didn't want a desktop, but for doing videos and processing and stuff, I need something better. And I didn't buy a big fancy one, but it's better than the laptop. So it's supposed to be here today. So I'll probably spend a lot of today setting that up. So I don't have any streams or anything coming up that I'm doing. We need to talk about doing one with the three of us coming up soon, at night. But other than that, I'm just chilling and just watching stuff right now.
It's your turn on the next one, Darren. So you plan it out, and then me and Crow will pop in. And
Okay.
if you guys want to jump on my stream to use cameras or whatever, just let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So Darren was telling us what he's what's going on for the next few days. And so Aaron, what's the big itinerary for you? I know you're a busy guy.
I have a lot of reviews to do. Like I said, I just popped out the Warhammer 40K on that one. And I got a lot of new stuff that's coming out too. You're going to see a lot of new things, including some Joe and, stuff that I haven't reviewed from the new wave yet. So I have all that coming up. I do have a future diorama project that I'm going to work on that I think everyone is going to like. And I will probably I will let you guys know what that is in the beginning month of May, but then we're just going to be pumping out Star Wars through all May, and then you'll get a little taste of what's going to come.
Okay. Right on.
I am going to Best Buy today to get some things I need for that computer. So I will possibly be hitting up Target, and Best Buy also sells like NECA. So I'll definitely be checking out the section while I'm there, seeing if I can grab anything on sale. But
They
I
had
guess
a lot
if
of
I
good
do,
stuff.
I guess if I do, we'll know later today or tomorrow.
Right on. Well, I'm going to close out by showing Aaron something, because me and him have been talking about a certain thing that's been going on in certain Joe stuff media lately. And I know he's got some ideas, and I'm going to show him one idea that I just finished off. But thanks so much, you guys, for joining me today. And I will go back to say goodbye properly. But before I do, I want to show this. Guys, if you're not reading comics like a good adult should, then you're missing out on some very different takes on the Joe verse that we talk about. Allison, we said that it got dry with 500 characters after a while. We need new. Well, how about new takes on characters? This little diorama depicts a scene that we see in Cobra Commander #2. Sorry if the set's not completely done yet, but we're working on them. But it's the Dreadnoughts fighting the Nemesis Enforcer.
Wow.
What a
That's
fight!
awesome.
What
That
a fight!
amazing, Crow.
And I'm not going to reveal how it all turns out. Let's just say that there's a very interesting spin going on in Skybound on what we thought we knew about everybody. But I wanted to show you how my Nemesis Enforcer character came out. Just a sec. I got to get him.
Nice. I love the cat, man.
Oh
Where'd
my
you get
God,
the ball
man.
cat, bro?
It looks just like him
Yeah. Oh, you read
in
it,
the comic. Yeah, I'm actually, I got issue 4 is in the mail. It should
There we
be
go.
here probably
Man.
Monday.
Wow, Crow.
So
it's great.
Nemesis Enforcer is just the simplest kit bash in the world. This is a WCW character that had a microphone. I meant to bring his box aside. I didn't. For the body, that's all it is. in the comic, he wore a gray suit with a white shirt. I didn't bother. I was like, whatever. This is my end state version, right? But these soft good caps are from Loki Wartooth, as was the head. Check this out. This is just like the Lady J caps, right? Like they are amazeballs.
Low printed that?
Yeah. And this is using, I think, that Warbler texture, right? So I was able to achieve the green hat that he came with, but this is how he looked just before he went ape shit and killed a bunch of people. Somebody caught him the wrong way. I tried to get the yellow eyes a bit. Oh, it's hard with the focus.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It looks good, man.
But this was the part I liked about 3 stars. The way his hands were, I was like, put a little blood on the thumb and forefinger and just make him stare at the guy like, oh, you are so fucked now. You know?
Yeah.
But if you guys aren't reading that comic series, it's very enjoyable. And I didn't think it was going to be as enjoyable as it was. I'm going to exit that solo layout.
Yeah, we are going to work some scenes out on that thing.
Yeah, and I know, Aaron and I were talking about this. There's so much there, right?
Yeah, there's a lot with the imagery. You guys that are really good at building stuff. The imagery in particularly that Cobra Commander. There are so many things you could build, even small little set pieces to do one scene on a shelf or half of a shelf. Would be so awesome because it's so visceral the way that comic is illustrated. Right, so you could do some amazing things creating stuff out of that Cobra Commander series.
100%. It is not going down the way you think a series like that would go down about a Cobra, right? The way
I think it's what's going to be 6 issues, right? And it's supposed to be 6, and 4 just come out.
Yeah. And just a warning, guys, it's basically a retelling, a reimagining of the Joe in this modern world. It's the same characters. It's just a reintroduction. So it's almost a new canon, if you would, continuing on from the assumption that you knew what was going on with Joe before. Yeah. You know, like you knew about places like Springfield. You knew who the characters were. It's a reintroduction. But hey,
good job at it.
It looks good. What you did there looks great. I can't wait to see how the rest comes out.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I've got a few more on the way to I'm working on today. And like Aaron, I've got to do reviews on like Scrap or Metalhead, Tunnel Rat, the Snow Serpents. I'm getting done this weekend. And I'm starting a Don Marino because I've been dying to start a Don Marino character. So
I wonder how long before we get that, because we're going to get her from Hasbro at some point.
Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to show real quick, and it's just going to take a second because all I have to do is move. I just wanted to show you guys what I did with my Airborne. See him back there? I just hooked a rope onto my shelf. And I got him repelling.
Yeah, you got him repelling. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got him fast lining down off the bottom of the shelf. So I just thought that was cool. I was like, I got to put him somewhere while I'm waiting on the Dragonfly.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that going on with the Dragonfly. So,
right, and that's another tip on how to play, guys. You're adults. We'll make you remember how to play.
Oh yeah,
damn right.
All right. Well, Aaron and Down 777, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to tell everybody that we got between all of us, we're going to have your week filled with fun, things to see, maybe some tips on some stuff, some new figs, and some great talk. And absolutely down south, the backyard battlefield, we will get something structured to get that going as soon as possible. All right. And guess that's it, guys. Thanks to everybody in the chat. And we will see you guys very soon. Don't forget to tune in to Same Time Toys, Woody 222, and Cobra, Crimson Commander, Allison, Retro Princess, and all the other people with these new channels. And let's grow the community. See you guys.
Catch you on the next time.
See you guys.